Most people think your spine is just bone, a stack of vertebrae holding you upright, protecting nerves, letting you bend, twist, survive gravity. But that's the outer surface, the shell. Your spine is far older than bone. It is a living conduit of biolight, a cosmic antenna, and the oldest mystical technology your body still remembers how to use. It is the place where biology, electricity, memory, and consciousness fuse into a single ascension architecture, and every ancient civilization knew it. That's why the Egyptians carved twin serpents coiling a staff, why the yogis mapped the Sushumna, the central channel of the light body, why early mystics described a hidden current inside the central column of the body. They weren't using metaphors, they were describing the actual physics of the human spine, long before microscopes, before MRIs, before language itself caught up. The ancients weren't primitive, they were remembering something we forgot. Inside your spine is the densest lightning pathway in the body, a column of pure nerve tissue conducting electricity at over 400 kilometers per hour. Every emotion, every instinct, every flash of intuition, every unconscious reaction, everything that rises in your body, travels through this electrical river before it ever touches the brain. You don't feel emotions in your heart first. You feel them in your spine first. Your spine is the first part of you that knows. Wrapped around the spinal cord is something extraordinary, a sheath of structured water. Yes, literal crystalline water, the same form used in quantum computing and biophotonic storage. This water responds instantly to light, sound, pressure, and electromagnetic fields. You are not just a nervous system, you are a light conductor, a living bioelectric reactor disguised as a human body. The ancient serpent wasn't a snake, it was a shape. The shape electricity takes when it moves. Lightning spirals, plasma currents spiral, magnetic waves spiral, and the spinal current is no different. The ancients encoded this spiraling current as a serpent because, well, human language didn't yet have words for electromagnetic torsion fields. With each breath, your cerebrospinal fluid rises and falls like a tide, an inner ocean pulsing through your spine. When the breath deepens, when attention stills, when the heart coheres, when focus sharpens, this fluid becomes electrically charged. When it charges enough, it begins to spiral upward. Ancient mystics called this Kundalini. Modern scientists call it bioelectric entrainment. 2 languages, 1 event, 1 truth. Here's the part almost no one knows. Your spine doesn't only transmit signals, it stores them. Your spinal cord contains memory-forming neurons almost identical to those in your brain. Your posture, your tension, your defensive patterns, your instinctive reactions, your fears, your contractions. These were written into the spine long before the mind ever learned language. The body remembers everything. So, the fascia around the spine, it actually becomes either dense or open depending on the emotional memories it's holding. When someone says, "I feel blocked," or "I feel stuck," or even, "I feel frozen," what they are really saying is, "My spine remembers something my mind has not yet integrated." Kundalini is not some mystical fire. It's actually crystalline voltage, the densest reservoir of life force stored right at the base of your spine. It just sleeps there in the pelvis, coiled inside the sacrum, the sacred bone. And when the spinal current reaches a certain electrical threshold, the cerebrospinal fluid, it actually begins to glow. Under electron microscopes, charged cerebrospinal fluid emits biophotons, literal particles of light. This glow is what ancient mystics called the serpent of fire. Not symbolic, not imaginary, not delusional, electrical, real. There are 3 points where the current rises, or collapses. The pelvic gate, raw force, raw instinct, raw creation. The heart gate, the compression chamber, the place where voltage either lifts or collapses depending on emotional coherence. And then, the cranial gate, where the charged fluid pushes into the brainstem and actually begins awakening deep inner sight. Every ancient tradition knew these 3 gates. Modern neuroscience, well, it's only now rediscovering them. When the charged cerebrospinal fluid reaches the brain, two things happen. First, it irrigates the pineal gland. The pineal floats inside this fluid like a crystal suspended in sacred water. When the fluid is charged, the gland responds electrically, magnetically, photochemically. Second, it triggers gamma coherence. Your brain shifts into a multi-awareness state. Awareness widens, perception sharpens, and your inner light, well, it intensifies. This is the stage mystics called illumination. This is the biological ignition of higher consciousness. Your spine doesn't just respond to your body. It responds to the planet, to the Earth's magnetic field, to storms, to solar activity, to cosmic pressure waves, and even to subtle geomagnetic changes. This is why monks and yogis could sense shifts in nature long before science instruments existed. Their spines were tuned, like living tuning forks vibrating with the field of the earth. The curvature of your spine determines what frequencies you can receive, straight enough to conduct light, curved enough to absorb shock. A perfect hybrid of strength and signal. You are built to sense reality through your spine, not your mind. Ascension isn't upward, it is inward, into the central column you were born with. When the current rises, your perception shifts into a higher neuroelectric frame. You see differently, you feel differently, you think differently, and you even remember differently. Every ancient culture encoded this inner ladder. Jacob's ladder, the Geode pillar, the caduceus, the world tree, the rainbow bridge. All of them, they point to the same internal technology, the spine as a gateway between worlds. So the real question isn't, is there a serpent in my spine? The real question is, why did every ancient civilization hide the truth of this interior technology in symbols? Because if you knew what your spine truly was, a living antenna, a crystalline memory tower, a conductor of light, a ladder of ascension, a bridge between states of consciousness, you would stop searching for awakening outside yourself. You would remember the path was always inside your spine, and it has been waiting for you to return.